At this point, what's Carrie got to lose? I mean,
Have some fun.
let's be honest. It's probably not Carrie's job. Things haven't gone well enough, in my view, to justify Carrie getting the reins. And I'm not saying it's Carrie's fault, and I'm not saying Carrie can't be a good MLS head coach at some point. But you have to take the total picture into account. You have to take fan mentality into account. You have to take into account what can we do? What's a move that we can make? What's going on, my friends, and welcome back to No Other Pod. I'm Jimmy, along with my good buddy Daniel Kooser. Dan, what's going on, my friend?
Dude, not much, man. I look at my eyes right now. I'm just like tired.
Yeah.
I'm just out of it. Today was my dad's birthday. I was just out in the pool for like 2 hours.
There you go.
And I was like laying on the bench, and that sun like hit my face, and I just passed out, bro. Like full on childish nap. It was crazy.
Do you have sunscreen on? Because that's my worst
yeah.
here. Is falling
No,
asleep
for
in
sure.
the sun with no sunscreen.
Honestly, I look
You
pretty
look good.
good. Yeah, I feel fine for being out there, you know.
Was this does someone in your family have a pool, or is this like a neighborhood pool?
Yeah, my dad does. Yeah.
See, I'm all about that. I don't like
Grew up with the
pools.
pool, man. It was fun. Used to go out there like every morning. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start swimming as exercise because you see those swimmers.
Mm-hmm.
They are the best looking guys and gals out there, man. Just ripped.
Mm-hmm. Or not even ripped, just like, I mean, muscular,
lean,
super toned. Yeah.
Long muscle.
Yeah.
And dude, it takes so much in your back, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember I went to go like lift our office chair in our house, and I tweaked my back and I fell to the ground. I was in my early 20s, bro. And I think it was just overexertion of all the swimming combined with trying to lift something up.
I believe.
But I was immobile. And my brother's like, we were young. He's like, do I call for an ambulance? I said, don't call an ambulance, you scum. Like
911. My 20-year-old brother hurt his back.
But I was at Walgreens at the time, and I was in the photo lab, and they had to put me up front at the register because I couldn't walk. I had to stand in place. It was crazy.
Oh, no. That's so sad.
Short story for you. My swimmer.
I always wanted a pool. I didn't grow up with a pool. I always wanted a pool. A lot of people in California had pools because you could have your pool year round. So you didn't have to like drain it or anything. It's just like, oh, in the winter it gets to like 74 degrees instead of 85. So you can.
I've always thought about buying a pool, right? But I'm like, dude, the
like
maintenance alone. No, like in ground.
Oh, like you're talking about like installing a pool.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's what my dad's is. And it's like, it's great, but the maintenance is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you think about a few $100s a month and like water bill, and God forbid it's heated, you know, now you got to pay for the electricity to heat it or the gas or whatever. Absolutely crazy.
I love the idea of a pool, but I don't like the reality of maintaining a pool.
I love a friend who has a pool.
Love a friend who has a pool.
Wants to invite me over, you know.
Even more, I love a friend who has an indoor pool. If you got an indoor pool, that is my dream because
that's a Florida thing.
Is a Florida thing, and then I don't have to worry about getting sunburned because I'm like, oh, this is climate controlled. I'm just vibing. It's great, but generally doesn't happen. Those are expensive as hell.
I start to get seasick in that bitch sometimes though. Like if people are playing, I'm like, yeah, in any kind of pool, I'm just like, yo, stop playing so much. Like you're making waves. I'm getting seasick up in here.
Did you do the thing as a kid where you had like those, like they're not boogie boards, but like the little flotation things? You try to stand on it and you're like pretending like you're surfing under the water, and then inevitably it goes flying out and hits a friend in the face because this is not how you're supposed to do it.
Bro, I was trying to balance on this like floatable crocodile today, and it was this little guy, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm like accidentally exercising right now. Like the way my core was engaged, I was like, I'm kind of getting tired.
Yeah. Now, our producer, Nick, I don't know if you wanted us to say this, but he said he failed a swim class at 5 because he refused to jump off a diving board.
Are you get you an F?
Will you jump off a diving board?
Man, with new hips, I don't know.
Oh, that's true.
I guess I could, right? But you worry about impact and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Wow. I've gone off a high dive once because in middle school in 7th grade, it wasn't like the Olympic high dive. It was like a 10-meter high dive, I think. So it was, 30 feet up in the air. But which is, I was in seventh grade and we had to take a swim class or a swim test as part of school, so people knew we could swim. And one of the things we could do if we wanted to, wasn't required, but they're like, you can jump off the high dive if you want to. So I did it. It was scary, but it's the only time I've ever done it. Then I see those videos of the Olympic high divers where they go like 150 feet up in the air and they're damn near walking on the ceiling, and it's terrifying. It's like worst nightmare.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I mean, what are they, like 5-meter platform high dive, right?
There's more than 5. Let's see. I want to say it's like 30 meters up. High dive Olympic.
Because our pool in town, a little aquatic center, has one of those, and it's up there, dude. And it's a good little drop.
Oh, they're saying scary. 10 meter, but this is no. Okay, so maybe 10 meter is the highest that they do in the Olympics. But I'm looking at a video right now where there are some people that are doing 20 or 30 meter dives, and maybe those are just not Olympic, but it's possible to do it, and those are crazy. I don't like that.
Well, it was crazy, and I don't know. I don't think I could do that today. Probably shouldn't. No. Well, it's up there.
Between that and sitting for hours at the KC Current game, that probably didn't help you.
Listen, we sat for a minute, and then we're like, maybe we should go get out of the sun of this thing. Like, and then it went from like being out of the sun to like, maybe we should have just left. Why did we even wait around and do the whole wait and see thing? What a shit-tastic Saturday that was. Just a horrible time. Both Kansas City teams decided to have like 3-hour delays, and just wild, man. If you're a Kansas City fan, that's not fun, especially piggybacking off in that late Chiefs game on Friday. Not fun.
And the Royals played in it also. They were hosting the White Sox, and Pasquatch had to leave with a heat-related illness. I mean, like, it was bad news for all KC sports teams yesterday if they were playing in heat and or thunderstorms in Florida.
Dude, I'll tell you what, though. Today, which is Sunday that we're recording, man, they were down 2-0 in the 7th, and they won the game 6-2.
There you go.
Like, that's wild.
It happens.
It's fun, man. It's fun.
But no, I know you and Chris, I'm sure we'll talk at length about the debacle of the current game this week currently. But I just have to say, I was at that damn stadium for damn near 8 hours. It was just
dog sitter?
8 hours. I did have a dog sitter. That's why.
Okay. Because you would never do that. I was like, really? Why'd you stay?
Nope, wouldn't leave my dog by herself that long. So she was at the dog sitter's house. I originally told the dog, I dropped her off at 11, told the dog sitter, like, I'll probably be back at like 6:30. He's like, great. And then I texted him. I was like, hey, so the game's not going to kick off until at the earliest 6:30 now. And he's like, that's fine. We're good.
He was cool?
He was cool. I picked her up at like 10:30, and he was like, yeah, it's all good.
You got to pay more for a later pickup?
Not with him. I give him so much business. He's like,
oh, okay.
Deals. So
cool.
I just take her over to his house, and she just has a blast, like a mini vacation. But I was there for damn near 8 hours, and I saw exactly 0.0 goals scored.
What a horrible day. Just bad. I had to leave, dude. I was like, I have a show at 8:00 tonight. I got improv.
and what I will say too is the Current normally do very well in terms of press box food. I'm usually very pleased with their spread and selection. For some reason, these people, somebody on a day that feels like 110 outside, decided that the food that they were going to serve up was a shrimp boil. And I'm like, I don't want hot seafood on 110-degree day outside. I don't want seafood really in general at a thing like that. Like, give me something a little more standard. But when I walked up and I saw shrimp and corn like in hot liquid next to fried okra, I was like, of all the days,
man,
this is not the day.
Could have been like cold cuts or something. Anything.
Literally like anything. So they had like some Caesar salad that I ate, and I was like, I'll wait for the halftime hot dogs because they always bring out the halftime glizzies, and I'm happy. And then the game got delayed 4 hours, so I was starving.
Jesus. Well, we ended up taking an Uber back to our parking lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if the bus was running. You know what I mean? So
who knows? It was NWSL has a lot to answer for, but I'll leave that to you and Chris to.
Oh, it's gonna be. Tune in, folks. I'm mad. Coos Rant coming back. I'm upset.
Did you see Chris Long on the field, on the phone, very animated? He was not happy.
He was mad.
He was not happy. And I heard Angie was more mad than Chris.
About what?
Just that this even got to this point. I'm assuming mad at the league that they like
Okay.
is who could have predicted that a 3 p.m. kickoff in Kansas City in August might be too hot?
I don't know. Do you know I have a Weather Channel app though? Like they literally issue warnings and say like, "Hey, it's gonna be bad,"
Days
and
in
days ahead of time. So like, and I know you want to get it on CBS real fast because you're like, "Oh, we got to be seen on CBS." Well, guess what? Now you got to delay it, and CBS was like, "Fuck you! You can go on the internet."
Yep. One.
All right, I'm getting ranty. Stop it. I'm saving it for tomorrow. Saving it.
I'm sorry. It was that we went from that to it was like the Current are going to kick off 3.5 hours before Sporting Kansas City. So I'm like, great, I'll get home just about in time to see the whole Sporting game. And then it's like, nope, the Current and Sporting Kansas City are going to kick off at the exact same time. And it's like, that kind of sucks, but I'll just have to watch Sporting while I'm watching the Current. And then it's like, nope, the Current are going to kick off about 3.5 hours before Sporting Kansas City again, because Sporting Kansas City got in a lightning delay in Orlando.
That's different. Lightning can be unpredictable. You can predict extreme heat.
Right.
What happened? You got me going. You did this.
Just wait till you read the NWSL statement they sent to Daniel Sperry on the podcast.
I don't want to read that. Oh my God.
You should. It basically comes up to, well, we wanted to do our own research. So
good. A lot of scientists in the NWSL.
They want to rely on real-time day of weather data. And I'm like, shut up. That works for, like you said, that works for a thunder and lightning storm when you don't know exactly where it's going to be. But when the meteorologists are like, it's going to be hotter than hell 4 days in advance.
No, it's selfish. It's media. It's like CBS. We got to be on CBS. It's Orlando. Oh, I'm mad. Stop this. Stop roping me back in.
But in Orlando, where Sporting Kansas City was playing, because Orlando Pride came to Kansas City and Sporting Kansas City went to Orlando. They had this thunderstorm that was just kind of like sitting above the stadium for multiple hours, and it delayed the game. And then eventually it cleared off. But I actually thought, and I was hearing for a while, that the game wasn't going to happen at all that night. But Orlando didn't want to reschedule, is what I've been told, and they couldn't reschedule it to Sunday today because Orlando has a midweek Leagues Cup game. So that was off the table. So it was either going to be play it on Saturday or reschedule it to a midweek game later in the season. And Orlando wasn't about that, which Sporting probably wouldn't have cared because we're probably going to miss the playoffs anyway. Orlando, they're like, we don't need more congestion late in the season. So they're like, wait it out. And it kicked off at like 10:40 Eastern time. So
that's insane, dude. And, props to the fans that stuck around, for either of these games, really.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have every right to bounce out of there.
Yeah, it was bad. So let's take our first break here. And when we come back, we'll talk about the Sporting game, the formation, the lineup was interesting. So we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your #1 source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
I'm Brett Goodwin, one of the owners of The Learning Tree. The Learning Tree is a neighborhood toy store in Prairie Village, Kansas. This has been here in this location since 2000s, and my husband Alan and I purchased the store in 2023. Alan and I grew up in families where we've always wanted to have a business together. Alan grew up, for instance, his parents had a jewelry store. I worked in a local toy store here in Prairie Village when I was growing up. When this opportunity happened in 2023, we knew right away we wanted to contact them and pursue the store. We wouldn't have been able to get the store without the team at Emprise Bank. From the day we contacted them, they knew what we needed to do, which was very helpful. I would absolutely recommend the team at Emprise Bank to anyone looking to secure a business. We worked with Emprise from day one. They were extremely helpful. They were always great resources. We talk to them frequently. They know the area. They're very friendly. We know who we're going to talk with, and they know what we need to do. We hope we'll see you at the Learning Tree.
Folks, nothing beats hanging out with the boys on a hot summer day and watching some baseball. And the simplest way that you all can get in on the action is to download the Pick 6 app from DraftKings. It is crazy simple. Just pick more or less on the stats for 2 or more of your favorite players, and boom, you're in the mix for big cash prizes. And the best part is, Pick 6 is available right here in Missouri. Don't miss out on the fun. Don't settle for a smaller payout. Switch to Pick 6, and right now, new customers can get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. Here's what you got to do. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and then use code KCSN. That's code KCSN for new customers to get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Bonus picks expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Man, I went and saw that Weapons movie. I did.
You like it?
It's great, dude. It was great. Hey, watch out. What's your microphone doing? It just went limp on me.
Fall again?
It just went limp.
I don't know. If
Really
really
looking for that.
quickly,
Yeah.
it was up.
Got mic problems? Just pop one of these.
I don't know what's going on. I think my my little the little contraption that holds it up, something happened to it, and
Okay.
I don't know why. And I tried to fix it before the show, and as long as you can still hear me, I'm good.
All right.
Who knows what's going on? Things are falling apart. Our pets' heads are falling off. It's a disaster. Let's talk. Stay put. Let's talk about this Sporting Kansas City lineup. This one was interesting because this was the first time that we saw Mason Toye start for Sporting Kansas City, up top next to Dejan Jovic, but then they also had Santi Munoz and Shapi Suleimanov in there. So they showed it was basically a 4-4-2 formation that they were playing. And it had Zoran Basong and Jake Davis sort of as that the two central midfielders, then with the back line of Kyrie, Volder, Jansen Miller, and Tim Leibold in front of Pulskamp. Perhaps most interestingly, it was Zoran Basong who was given the captain's armband for this game. So I don't know. I saw this lineup and I was like, okay, a lot of rotation. He's trying something different. And I don't know who else honestly would be the captain, but what did you think when you saw this experimental lineup that Kerry was putting out?
It's crazy, right? I mean, dude, what do we got to lose?
Right.
A game? We've done that before. I think I'm all for it. What we've been doing is not quite getting results.
No.
And Kerry clearly sees something, and him and the coaching staff clearly see something that this group of men could go out there and get it done against this Orlando side. And for a minute, I might have told you that we could have. I mean, back and forth, 1-1 at the half. Like, come on, something was working a little bit.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, I'll say, I know Dejan was the one who got the goal, and we'll talk about everything that happened. But I will say, in the nearly 60 minutes that he was in the game, Mason Toye was Sporting KC's best player, and I'm not sure it was particularly close. He was creating runs. He was getting shots off. He was putting them on target. He nearly scored before he ended up almost scoring that goal that Dejan poached away from him. But I mean, Mason Toye, quite honestly, was unlocking something in this offense, playing in this 4-4-2 next to Jovic that we haven't really seen much this year. And having those two up top with then two people in the midfield like Shapi Suleimanov and Santi Munoz, who are creative in their own right, Sporting had chances offensively. It just sucks that even though you're having these chances offensively, not 70 seconds into the game, Orlando gets a free runner in the box, basically, and Spicer just pounds the ball home when he really had no business being as wide open as he was. He just runs off of Jake Davis, who kind of leaves him be. He's right in front of Shapi, who's staring at him, and as soon as he makes his shot, Shapi and Jake just both look at each other, and neither one of them knows who was supposed to be there, but this is what happens when you leave a player wide open and the keeper's off his line, and suddenly it's 1-0, 73 seconds into the game.
When you score in about a minute like that, I think I texted you and Marissa. I just said SKC, lol.
Yeah, I had, so...
That shot was dope, though, right? That was a pretty cool shot, volleying like that.
Good for him, and this was the first game that Spicer started for Orlando, so, like, hey, you make your first start and 73 seconds in, you're getting a go-ahead goal. That's awesome. Now, you text me SKC lol. I was literally getting off the shuttle to get back to my car. So I was like, okay, I know the game's about to start. I'll get back to my car. I'll be able to put it on. I'll listen to it as I'm driving back to get my dog. And as I'm walking up to my car, I get your text. And I was like, no way. Surely they haven't already. And then I opened up the MLS app and I was like, damn it.
Yeah, you thought you'd be good. You thought you'd miss no action.
I was like, 3 minutes will go by and then I'll plug it in. I'll just have the audio going from Apple TV in my car as I drive and I'll listen to what's going on, listen to the sultry tones of Nate Bukaty. And no, it didn't work that way.
Didn't work out. Liked what I saw from Mason Toye early on in this game.
For sure.
Like the 20th minute, he goes back, does a little run back to get on sides, get a little through ball, and man, he just didn't have the angle, but he had the keeper beat. I mean, that was a goal right there. That would have been crazy.
Missed it by like inches.
Yeah.
Truly.
Had another shot on goal a couple minutes later, forced the goalkeeper into a diving save. Mason Toye, man, he gets out there and he works hard.
He was getting in space. I mean, really, before Mason Toye, the only real opportunity that Sporting had was Dejan had a shot from distance in like the 7th minute, but it wasn't really a great shot. And then, Toye almost, this first chance he had that you mentioned in the 20th minute is nearly identical to what ultimately ends up leading to the Sporting KC goal.
And you clearly, it's like it's building up to something. He's like, he's doing this again. He's doing this again. He taps it around the keeper. And I got to tell you, Mason Toye's about to score. And Dejan goes, not on my watch. I'm scoring.
It
was close. There's a defender coming. So it's like he had to be sure.
That's the thing. Yeah. So I was going to ask you how you feel about this if you're Mason Toye. And I think you could tell it was and I mean it was Dejan who feeds Toye at first, and so were it not for Dejan's incredible pass, Toye wouldn't have even had the opportunity to tap around the keeper.
For sure.
If I'm Dejan, I do exactly the same thing because
you saw the defender on his backside. Like
that's the thing. The ball. It's. I would say I'm 95% sure this is going to be a goal for Mason Toye, but there's two things that are happening that Dejan has to be 100% sure this is going to be a goal. One, there's a defender right on him. So is it likely that the defender gets there? No. Is it possible? Maybe. But the other thing is the ball is sort of going across the face of goal. It's almost certainly going to fully cross the line. But especially from Dejan's angle, he's probably looking at it and thinking there's a chance this bounces off the post and may not fully go in. So why not just pound this thing home and make sure? And
never take that chance.
Never. And you can tell he picks up the ball and the first thing he does is he runs over to Mason Toye. And I think he says something to him. I think like along the line, he doesn't say, I'm sorry, but I think he's basically telling him, hey, I wasn't trying to steal your goal. We just have to be sure that we scored. And Toye, to his credit, he didn't look mad or anything. He looked tired, but took it in stride. And I think if roles were reversed, I'm sure Toye would have done the same thing.
Oh, I think so. But you're 1-1 into the half now, feeling fine against a decent Orlando team. Second half comes along. I think Daniel Shallowy had a pretty good look at one point. Daniel keeps trying to hit it in the vicinity of the keeper. He doesn't really try to hit around him. It's just the way his shot has turned out every once in a while.
I do feel like this game turned when Toye and Santi came out. And Carey talked about after the game, he was like, Toye hasn't really played a full game this year. So yeah, he got, nearly 60 minutes in, and that's when he came out for Daniel Shallowy. But pretty, even before then in the second half, Orlando looked like they came out on fire and Sporting just didn't. And then Toye comes out. Toye, did you catch this? Did Toye look a little annoyed to you that he was coming out when he was subbed out?
I didn't notice that. I did notice Jake Davis looking annoyed when he came out. Jake was just like, me? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Look, I get it. I want those players to feel that did Jake come out? Jake didn't come out, did he? Santi came out.
Oh.
Leibold came out.
Jake then. Oh,
Jansen
no.
Miller.
What happened was, I think the substitute board had it messed up because it was number 10 coming in for 17, which is Shallowy for Jake, and Jake was like,
Jake's like, this doesn't make sense.
And then I think they fixed it. that's why I was confused too, because I was like, "What's happening?"
I remember seeing
I was able to see the second
used,
half.
and yeah. It's
Gotcha.
But when Shallowy came in the 50th minute and Toy came out, and then 10 minutes later, Santi came out and Jacob Bartlett came in. Really, that's where they flipped from the 4-4-2 back to a traditional 4-3-3, because now you basically had Shallowy and Shoppy up top with Jovic, and then you had Radia, Bartlett, and Davis in the midfield. And once it went to the 4-3-3, everything just kind of fell apart. And
Yeah.
then Orlando was able to capitalize on and had a series of opportunities. And ultimately, it was in the 75th, 76th minute when Enrique is able to put Orlando up ahead, because there's disorganization in the box from Sporting Kansas City, and Pulskamp can't get there. Nobody closes down, and Enrique is able to just create enough space to get a shot off his left foot, and ends up being the game-winning goal, even though one more came later for Orlando. But
yeah,
wheels just fell off for Sporting Kansas City.
Just fell off, dude. Not once that second goal of theirs happened, it was like, we're in trouble. Like, I don't think they're done. So we hung on for a bit. Scary stuff. Got to dust it off and just keep having fun, man. Try to entertain the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Sporting had a couple of chances in the second half, but and then Rodriguez in the 83rd minute when it was 2-1, and you're hoping Sporting can just get something. Again, not enough people in the box to create just enough space. There's a loose ball, deflection. Pulskamp can't do anything. Signed, sealed, delivered. 3-1 game. It's a little bit of a bummer. If you look at the XG for the game, this is what's so frustrating for those last two goals. XG is only 3.05 to 2.59 per fight mob.
Wow.
So it's actually a relatively close game in terms of XG. It was just the Rodriguez shot that ended up being the third goal had 0.76 XG. So that right there put Orlando ahead. And it was the goal in the 76th minute had a 0.28 XG. So they got a full over 1.0 XG just from those last two goals that ultimately was the difference maker. So otherwise, Sporting, especially in the first half, really recovered from that quick goal and played a decent first half. I think there's more to be seen from this 4-4-2 going forward, if it were up to me. I don't know what you think, but
I enjoyed it. I thought that was fun as hell.
Yeah. It's, Carey, he talked about it again, said, we played a wonderful first half, had some personnel changes. And he even said some of the decisions in taking Mason off in the 58th minute and Santi in the 68th started to unravel the group a bit. So we went back to three central midfielders to see if we could get more pressure out wide and drop Bartlett into the back line. We thought it would help things, and at the end of the day, it didn't. As good as our first half was, the second half really had us struggling, and we suffered a lot. So that's, it's a tough one. And that is Sporting Kansas City's fourth loss in their last 5 MLS matches. They are winless in their last 5. They have not won a game since the win at Colorado on July 4th. Their only point in their last 5 matches came from the July 19th home matchup against New York City. Other than that, they've lost to Seattle, who we now take on again this weekend, lost to Vancouver, lost to San Diego, and now lost to Orlando City. And all of those losses, except for the Seattle game, were multi-goal losses, and Seattle had a red card in that game. So it's not great.
Chip got us a little right up here, and looking forward to the next game as well. You ready for that?
Hit me with the chip shot.
Oh, the new one this week, huh?
Okay.
It's the chip shot. Talking stats with Jimmy. I've never heard this in my life. Let's do it. Let's play out.
A little vibey. I like this.
You don't know where it's going.
No.
Expected goals. Shots on target. Feeling hot. Get that chip shot. Do a shimmy. Talking games with Jimmy.
It's like a little lo-fi.
That was good. All right.
I like it. Freestyle
SKC
band.
came out the gate looking like they all woke up from a long nap, like they're about to predict whether Kansas City will get 6 more weeks of winter. What?
I don't know why when you started, you're like, SKC came out the gate. And I was like, in my mind, after you just did what you did, I was like, he's about to go into a whole like rhyme freestyle rap. I was coming, and then it didn't rhyme. And I was like,
My
sorry.
knees are heavy.
I'm interrupt you, but that's my brain went there.
Oh my God. Okay. One thing that was consistently happening was the back line was caught watching. We talked about this. On the first and third goal, for sure, our defense and mids were paying all the attention to where the ball was going and less of watching the Orlando players making off the ball movements. Some childish shit, dude. Soccer 101. Guard your man.
Mm-hmm.
Spicer's goal in the second minute was, I got to say, a nice one touch, but SKC needs to do better on marking and following the player. It all starts with Shoppy covering Spicer passing to Ojeda, who takes it down the line, and Spicer keeps going while Shoppy just watches. It's things like this which give our opponents just enough opportunity to roll the dice. SKC did manage to pull off 13 shots in the game with 4 on target, which isn't uncommon, but they were all clustered towards the beginning of the game. 9 shots in the first half, all before the 40th minute. Then only 4 shots in the second half, with 3 of them happening before the 70th minute. We just ran out of steam there. But let's talk about something I liked. I agree, Chip. Mason Toye. He's the only player that will make cutting runs towards goal. So if we can get a good distribution of passes towards him, I do think he will be a threat to everyone. It's his actions which make him more threatening towards the defense, and they'll actually have to run to catch him. He honestly reminds me of a lot of the runs that Willie Agata would make, but Toye has more of the ball control that Agata struggled with. Great point.
Mm-hmm.
Twice in 5 minutes, Toye was able to catch the back line off guard, make a run, and almost get a goal himself. The first time was just a hair off target. The second one was yoinked by Joveljic, a goal, I might add, which was 1.00 XG finish. For as little playing time as he gets for this club, 171 on the season, spread out among 13 matches, I genuinely think he could be an answer to a lot of the flat-footed, stagnant offense that SKC has been bringing. Of those 171 minutes, 57 came last night. Other than that, only 5 matches had him in double digits minutes. But in all the muck, here's a fun fact. SKC had 0 yellow cards in the game. The last time that happened for SKC was in September 2023 when we lost on the road to St. Louis. But in this game, Orlando didn't have any yellows either. The last time SKC played a game where neither team had a yellow card, August 26, 2023, when we beat San Jose 3-0 at home.
There you go.
In early August, we needed 2.0 points per game for the next 10 matches in order to hit 44 points and that invisible playoff line. Then we lost 2. The number is now at 2.75 points per game for the rest of the season. For me, the rest of the season is almost a wash. We haven't particularly shown that we're going to win out the season, but I do think we can try some things and mix up the lineups. When Kerry first took the helm of SKC, I feel like the attacking style was different. We went on to win games and throw off the opponents. Right now, it feels like we have partially regressed into Vermees ball. Things don't feel aggressive like I hope they'd be. We have only 8 games to go, y'all. I think now is the perfect time to throw caution to the wind and try something new. Next up, we're at Seattle, a team that's 4th in the league and rocking 1.6 points per game in their last 5 matches. SKC, on the other hand, has dropped to 0.2 points per game in their last 5, tied with DC United for lowest in the league. SKC hasn't had all the luck while away this season, holding a 3-2-8 away record, but we've also had wild luck playing against Seattle while we're in a slump. We'll see what happens. Good point. Good freaking point.
Sporting sometimes can just muck up things against Seattle, especially on the road. It's happened before.
100%.
But I don't know. This is just, he's 100% right. There's no, regardless of what the math says, and the team is going to continue to say, oh yeah, there's possibility. Even there's 8 games left. So there's 24 points available. If Sporting Kansas City gets all 24 of those points, that puts them at 48 points, which would be 1 point ahead of the 9th place spot last year. That's if they go 8-0-0 in their last 8 games, which we know they're not going to do. So, I don't know. It's going to be pretty rough. So I don't
expect much out of this, bro, but I am a big proponent into seeing new things, and like who cares, right? We're not needing any sort of consistency right now. The season does seem like a wash. Yeah. So let's continue to try these lineups and formations and different pairings. I could get down with the Toye Joveljic connection. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's take our second break right here, and then we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about this and the Seattle game coming up, and we'll go from there. But we'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network.
I have a question for you before we jump back in. I'm about to put myself on blast here. Have you noticed how difficult it apparently is for me to say the words "will be right back" and not stumble over myself?
I guess not. No,
Because every time,
I don't know why I'm going to listen to.
I know, and now that's all everybody's going to listen to. But I can say it like normally as we're not approaching a break. I'll be like, "Oh yeah, we'll be right back," and it's fine. But for whatever reason, I get in my head as we're about to go to a break, and like even that last one, I was like, "We'll be right back," and I don't know. To me, it sounds weird in my head, so I was curious.
A word for me is particularly.
See,
I'll be like particularly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, my voice does crack sometimes because like I don't know why. There's something I'm like, "Hey, we're gonna take our break right here," and then like my brain just. It's like freaks out, and then I like can't say the words "will be right back." I don't understand why.
Wow. Okay. This is great self-reflection you're having here.
It is.
Live on the air.
Live on the air, letting people know. I mean, because I wonder if people are listening and they're like, "Oh wow, he really can't talk." For a guy who does
they're definitely
every week.
They're definitely watching. Like, do you ever look at your browser and you're like, "God damn, how is my screen so handsome?" Do you ever do that? Surely you do.
Yeah.
Surely you do.
Especially when I'm watching you. It's I don't know, man. This team, it's frustrating. And now we go up to Seattle, and Seattle beat us earlier in the season 3-2 with a red card. The only saving grace potentially, and how many times have we said this before, but Seattle has to play a Leagues Cup game Wednesday, and it's a late Leagues Cup game. It's a 8 p.m. kickoff on the West Coast against Puebla, which is why we're not playing until Sunday next week to give them an extra day. So, I mean, they're in the quarterfinals of the Leagues Cup. They're probably going to be going for it. They want to beat a Liga MX team. They're going to be the favorites against Puebla. So if there is a chance for Sporting to catch Seattle sort of on the back foot, it's because they have a midweek game and we don't. But I'm not sure there's anything that Sporting has done this year that has given any indication that Sporting will go into Seattle and be competitive to the point where they can get a result, let alone a full 3 points.
Nah, but I am excited. I don't, there's not much to do on Sunday now that Gilded Age has wrapped. So it's, we got soccer, man. Hell of a time.
Sunday soccer is always fun. It's a later kick for Sporting Kansas City.
8:15.
8:15. But it's also on FS1, so who knows?
Oh, that could be 8:45.
8:15, so it could be 8:30, could be 8:35. Who knows when this will actually kick? So as long as I don't have Alexi Lawless on my screen, I'll be happy. But unfortunately, I probably will. But I mean, Seattle, man, they're a team that just no matter what happens, they're always competitive. Even in their down years, it's like, they'll somehow find a way to squeak their way into the playoffs and then make a run. And if you look at Seattle as of late, yes, they just lost to Minnesota this week, but before that they beat the Galaxy 4-0, and they beat Tijuana 2-1, and they beat Santos Laguna 2-1, and they beat Cruz Azul 7-0. And so, I mean, like, they put up goals consistently.
100%.
And, it's just, the last time that Seattle was blanked in a game, it goes back to June 23rd, and that's because they were playing PSG. So a little different.
Yeah.
But I fully expect Seattle to come and put up, assuming nothing crazy happens on Wednesday and they don't lose their best players, 2 or 3 goals. And if Sporting has any hope, they're going to have to probably just bunker in, try to muck up a game, and hope that they get a cheap goal off a counter. Otherwise, I don't know.
At this point, I'm just like, John Postcamp, if you could just go rock bottom someone for old time's sake,
honestly,
a little legacy thing.
Do it. What do we have to lose? See if you can do it again. There's a second roll Don out on the field now. So Christian got one. Let's do it to Alex.
Yeah. If anyone's new, Tim Ilya did like a wrestling move to a player in the net one year, and it's legend. It's in, dude. It's written.
It's legends. And a second roll Don has hit the Sounders. So now let's
get after it. What do you got to lose, John? Get a red card and miss our next loss? Like, It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, but I do agree with what Chip said and what you said. At this point, what's Carey got to lose? I mean,
Have some fun.
let's be honest. It's probably not Carey's job. Things haven't gone well enough, in my view, to justify Carey getting the reins. And I'm not saying it's Carey's fault, and I'm not saying Carey can't be a good MLS head coach at some point. But you have to take the total picture into account. You have to take fan mentality into account. You have to take into account, what can we do? What's a move that we can make that will signal to the fans we are transitioning into an entirely new era. We have ambition. We have drive. We are going to make this team competitive again. And I think hiring Peter Vermes' right-hand man after he couldn't really turn it around, it's that won't do it. So if I'm Carey, I got nothing to lose. If you're the players, you got nothing to lose. They said this on the podcast last night. They have 8 games to figure out what do they have in their loan signings, Munoz and Montez, to see if they want to keep them around. Obviously, we know a little bit more about Santi than we do about Alan Montez, but just start trying stuff. Like you said, do more of this 4-4-2. Do crazy stuff to figure out what do you have, who's hungry, and we'll see what happens. Because worse, you'll lose more games and you're in the exact position you're at. It doesn't matter if you finish 10th or 14th. The result's the same.
Yeah.
So that's my view on it. But I'm not holding out hope for the game against the Seattle Sounders. Good news is, as of right now, if there is good news, we're still 3 points ahead of St. Louis. So if there's something to, I guess, it's can we finish above St. Louis? So.
You sure? Yeah. You don't want to be the worst. It's like you're fighting against relegation here or something.
Well, I mean, the Galaxy are still somehow 8 points worse than even we are.
That's wild to me.
Which is crazy. So we're sitting at 13th.
Being an LA person.
Oh my God. We're sitting 13th in the West. We'd be 12th in the East, but we'd be even farther out of the playoffs in the East than we are in the West. 9th place in the East has 39 points. 9th place in the West has 32 points.
Wow.
The East is very, very top heavy. The East also has the 2 Supporter Shield leading clubs right now. And then Nashville and Orlando are hot on the heels of San Diego, who's in 3rd place. So that's honestly, to me, what's going to be the most interesting storyline outside of Sporting Kansas City as we approach the final stretch of MLS games is, can a club like Cincinnati, who we've said multiple times on this podcast, Sporting and Cincinnati, Sporting and a city like Nashville, those are more analogous comparisons than Sporting to Miami or Sporting to Seattle or LAFC. If Cincinnati can go and win the Supporter Shield a handful of years after they were really wooden spoon contenders as an expansion club, there's no reason that Sporting Kansas City can't make the right decisions and turn this thing around. They just have to have an ownership group that's committed.
I know. It's crazy.
So
I want to point out, we got Bradley's email. Brad, thank you for that. Yes. Not going to read it or anything, but Brad expressed appreciation for our skin health or dermatology checkups and all that.
Yeah.
And appreciates the pod despite the team's poor performance. So thanks for being here, Brad. Also, he likes the music. And he had the idea to do different genres for each episode. And that's funny because we talked last week about doing that too. So great minds, Brad.
Yeah.
He's probably like, they used my idea. And it's like, sure, man. Yeah. We'll say it was your idea. That's good.
Yeah. Take the credit. That's all good. It it is really funny to me because I have no idea what's coming, and I don't think you know what's coming.
No, I don't know what's coming.
You just this is your improv chops at work.
It's just fun. I hate playing music games, dude.
Do you really?
I'm a musical guy, and I hate musical improv. Absolutely.
So you weren't ever doing like the Who's Line game where it's like
we do
give you a genre and a song title and go.
We do shit like that in front of 300 people. It's insane, bro.
That's scary.
I'm not sure we have a billion music options, so we'll retire this segment in like 2 months.
The improv to me, the closest I ever did was in 9th grade. I took a drama class and we did like some Who's Line type games. But
no, sure.
Improv, like it feels like if you're going to do improv well, you have to be willing to like fully commit regardless of what's going to happen and not be afraid to fall on your face. Because otherwise, if you try to do it half-assed, then you're guaranteed going to fall on your face.
The crowd wants you to see you fall on your face. Like they want you to fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like if you fall, fall harder.
Right.
That's the rule.
Because that can be funny, but it's if you're doing it like halfway and you're like trying not to fall, but you're not really committing, then like that feels like the worst.
100%. If you and the audience picks up on that shit, they're like, "Oh, he's not going all in. That's okay." Wah, wah.
Yeah. Have you ever done stand up?
No, that'd be a whole different beast. I
Stand-up's-
think I would just tell stories. I'm not sure I would tell jokes. I'd be like, "Here's a funny thing that happened in Vegas," you know?
Well, I mean that's half of what stand up is anyway.
I guess, but like tailor it to a joke. Like, here's my wildest night in Vegas, and maybe people would laugh at parts.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting. Well, improv scares me. So good
Yeah.
for you for doing
But you should do what scares you. You know what I mean? Like,
it. I mean,
challenge yourself, you know?
honestly, the podcast idea scared me, and you were the one who was like, "We're doing it," and I was like, "Ah,
Man,
okay."
I needed this creative outlet. After moving to Chicago, I didn't have much anymore. So I was like, we got to do something.
Yeah,
This is
that's
great.
why the stuff I post on TikTok, it's a challenge for me because I'm not that, typically I don't put myself out there with
Yeah.
stuff. So if you want to watch me open Pokemon cards, find my TikTok.
There you go. Get after him. Maybe Jimmy needs a date. Maybe if you're into it, go talk Pokemon.
Talk Pokemon. Wednesday this week, are you going to be watching these Leagues Cup games? Because there's a marquee matchup, I would say, with Miami and Tigres. Those are two very good teams.
I should be home from rehearsal for the Seattle and the LA Galaxy games.
Okay.
I will not be able to see the first two games. So
Well, I'm going to be
we're in the quarterfinals now. Like, it's do or die now, right?
quarterfinals, and there are 4 MLS teams left, and there are 4 Mexican teams left. So it's Miami.
They're all
Orlando-
playing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's Miami, Orlando, Seattle, and somehow the Galaxy.
And they're all playing their separate games.
Yeah,
Like, they're not
not against each
somehow the Galaxy. What a weird fucking thing that is.
Somehow that's crazy. And then occasionally I think back and I'm like, do you remember this season when we were in the CONCACAF Champions Cup for 2 games? That's
Yeah,
also
pretty
crazy.
weird to think
that was a
about.
real thing that happened.
I don't know. Remember, though, I was recovering from surgery, so that time in my life is
I don't
non-existent.
remember a whole lot from then. Yeah.
It's crazy. Question, though, when you look at the schedule for like these Leagues Cup games and they have the number in parentheses next to them,
Mhm.
I know that's like their seeding number, right? Or is that the rank in the competition?
It's their seeding number in the competition, and there was a whole formula, if I remember, of like how they determined what the seeding was going to be. It has nothing to do with how good the teams actually are.
So
right
it's
now.
not like Miami's the second best team in this competition. That's not
It had something to do with like based on where you finished in certain competitions last year. So like the Galaxy are 7th because they won MLS Cup, and like that, the way that the formula worked out, it's like, oh,
Gotcha.
even though the Galaxy are probably the worst team still in the competition.
Well, there's a realistic idea that, we have an MLS champion again. Like,
It's possible.
they're all playing their own games. They're not playing each other. No chance of knocking each other out until the semis. So this is
Yeah.
great.
For sure. I mean, if you look at the bracket and the way this thing is shaping up, they don't really say exactly how this is all going to play. I mean, you can't know how it's all going to play out, but Seattle, if they win, would face the winner of LA and Pachuca, and Miami, if they beat Tigres, would go on to face the winner of Orlando and Toluca. So it could be crazy that we have a West Coast matchup between Seattle and LA, and then we have a Florida-only matchup potentially between Miami and Orlando. Do I think all 4 MLS teams are going to win in the quarterfinals on Wednesday? Probably not, but I think Seattle has a decent chance. Miami, even though Tigres is good, Miami's also very good, and Orlando has a decent chance. I'm not going to hold out hope for the Galaxy, but I'll cheer for them.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd like to see all 4 MLS teams win, and then I guess I'd like to see. I don't even know who I'd like to see win of those 4 teams. They all kind of annoy me, but
At this point, as far as electricity goes, I wouldn't mind seeing a matchup of Miami and Seattle.
that'd
the
be
way
fun.
they've been playing.
I think that'd be the most fun matchup as an MLS fan to watch. I don't care about seeing Miami go on to take on either Puebla or Pachuca.
But also, you got that Miami-Orlando rivalry, so that could be cool too.
I want if I'm talking like from a pure neutral standpoint, the 2 most exciting final matchups for me are Miami Seattle or Seattle Tigres. Miami versus Puebla or Pachuca doesn't do anything for me because I think Miami will run over them if Messi's playing. So, but if Tigres somehow beat Miami, I think Tigres and Seattle could be a fun game. 2 classic powerhouses in their respective leagues, but Miami and Seattle also be very fun.
Totally.
So, I don't know, man. It's a weird one. But yeah, Wednesday night there's lots of soccer happening, and there's plenty of soccer to watch next weekend. I mean, we don't play until Sunday, but Saturday there's plenty of MLS games to keep you occupied, as well as I believe is it the last Saturday before college football starts in earnest? So
This Saturday?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think
I think
there's
you're right.
unless there's some week 0 games on the 23rd. I don't know. But I mean, this Saturday is week 0. Okay, so Nick says this is week 0. I don't know.
There is a KU football game this
Do the
weekend.
Jayhawks play? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
they do.
both KU and K-State play. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Who's KU got?
Back at it. They got Fresno, right?
Oh, that is right. And K-State plays in Ireland. That's crazy.
Yep, I got a buddy who went to that Ireland game.
That's nuts. Well, that's insane. But hey, if you aren't watching college football, there's some interesting games coming up next week that are going to be worth watching. So should be a fun week of sports. Hopefully it's a little cooler in Kansas City, and certainly won't be 110 degrees in Ireland. So K-State will be fine. But is KU
KC
here?
Current Saturday, and KU is here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, Casey Current also they'll be in playing on Saturday. So should be a fun time. And make sure you check out Currently, like we said, because Dan and Chris are going to have all sorts of thoughts. They're for a 0-0 game. There's a lot to talk about, not just about the game, but the surrounding events from this past weekend. So
yeah, it's gonna be wild. I already told Chris. I said, "Are you ready to rant a little bit?" I said, "Cause I'm gonna need you.
yeah,
Don't just sit there and not have opinions, okay? Because you were with me. You know how we were feeling."
yeah, because you were with 4 people total, and all of you left, right?
Well, I brought 2 others with us, so there's 4 of us. But
Yeah.
the rest of our ticket group was there. I mean, Chris and Chip, so and Megan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Did they stay or did they leave?
They ended up leaving too once it was finally announced that the kickoff time changed. But you told me what the rumor was, and I was like, bottom line, we need to leave this town by 5.
Yeah.
You know, I got somewhere to be at 7.
Before they had announced it was 6:30, I think I texted you as soon as I heard it. I was like, I've heard from 2 different people now. They're leaning towards 6:30. So
Yeah, fun stuff. So,
fun.
hey,
But
talk to you guys tomorrow. Gonna be great.
that's you got anything else for our good listeners for this week?
No, sure don't, man. Oh, no, I don't.
Well, thank you all so much for listening and sticking with us, even though sporting are not good. Let us know what you want us to talk about. If there are people you want us to try to get on for interviews, let us know about that. And if you have any specific, as we approach the off season, if you have any specific content requests or content ideas that you want us to touch on in the off season, start thinking about that. Let us know. You can tell us on social at NoOtherPod, at Dan Kooser, at JCMac03. You can leave us a review and let us know your idea wherever you get your podcast. You can shoot us an email at nootherpod.com or leave a comment on YouTube by searching KCSN Soccer, or you can watch in the Kansas City Sports Network app. But until next time, he's Dan. I'm Jimmy. We'll catch y'all later. See ya.
Follow Jimmy on TikTok for Pokemon.